All right, thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. If you've heard me talk about SciENcv before, thank you for keeping with me and developing as we go along. I keep learning so many things as I use the system more and more, and I know that you will too. So this workshop, like we've said, is going to be completely interactive, which means that you should be building biosketches and current impendings for either yourself or for your PIs that you've worked with to be able to get access to. If you do not have a PI's biosketch and current impending or a delegated authorization right now, it's okay. You can still watch while I build a biosketch and current impending as an example, and please ask questions, carry on, begin a professional conversation around this. I've put together some documents that I hope will help. In the long run, I'm going to finish up a web page that is going to be specifically about this operation, that's going to include some screenshots that I'm going to include. But these are some, over in the chat, I've added the files. So I have a SciENcv user checklist. It is 2 pages long. Don't be intimidated by that. It does get easier, I promise. It's just that first one that will really take a little bit of time. And then after that, you can use that as a template to then, build others. So just think of it as, a hardship beginning, but then easy road going forward. Much easier than starting from scratch every single time. While I've been using the system, I've been identifying some troubles that are either part of the SciENcv system, part of the NSF association with the system. Like, there are some troubles. And so I've been working on developing a troubleshooting guide to be able to help out with that. So this is definitely a page that will continue to evolve, and it will be on our website, and it will keep getting updated. So if you have problems, if you identify things with SciENcv that I have not already identified, please let me know. I left my email address at the bottom of that chat. So if you do need one-on-one help and we're not able to have the time to do it today, or if you have problems that you identify down the road, please feel free to email me. This is something that I've really been working to become more of an expert at, but like I said, it's still a work in progress. So we'll all get there together. The other 2 documents are using my bibliography in ORCID. I'm going to take a little bit of time to show you how to use my bibliography, or to upload documents, upload citations into my bibliography, or if you have a PI that has an active ORCID account, how to use that account to pull citations into the biosketch. And then finally, these are the instructions that I already shared with you. This is what you need to share with your PI to show them how to delegate their NCBI account to you. And so this is the way that you can help them out with this process. You do not have to make all of your PI's biosketches by any means. It is something that they should own, and they do need to figure out how to use. So this user checklist is designed for the user. So it is designed for the PI or for the administrator if you have delegated authorization over your PI. But regardless, it's how to actually put in the information. So we're going to start out. I'm going to be sharing my screen completely, so you don't need to worry about seeing me. We are going to go into my NCBI first. So I just wanted to start it out fresh for you so that you could see exactly what you're going to have to do step by step. So you can Google my NCBI, you can Google NSF, SciENcv, either one will get you to NCBI. I like to just go directly to my NCBI. And so I'll click on that. It already has me logged in because I get on here enough. But if you don't, if you're not already logged in, please log in with your username and password. Like I said, from my experience, using just an email address and a password is the easiest way to do it. My husband made his a long time ago, so he uses an old Gmail account. Luckily, his computers are smart enough to remember what his login information is because he couldn't. I thought that, oh, well, this is NSF related, so I'll log in with my NSF ID and it'll be linked somehow. That was not the case. That did not happen, and now it's a really arduous task to be able to log in because I have to, go to another place besides just putting in my email address and password. So this is my landing page, which is also my home page. And so right now, we're going to be working with delegated CVs, okay? If you are the PI and if you are making the biosketch and current and pending documents for yourself during this workshop, you're going to be going to manage SciENcv to be able to make your own biosketch and current and pending documents. But I am going to primarily be working with, focusing this talk on the administrators who have been delegated. So today, I'm going to be working on Pil Kang's biosketch. I'm working with him on an upcoming NSF proposal that he's working on. And so I volunteered to help him out with this so that I could show you what it's like. Pil is a great example.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Stephanie, if you don't yet have one created, do you click here to create a new CV as opposed to manage it? Because I don't have one to manage yet. I have to create it.
Don't you have marks delegated to you?
Yeah, but the only options are click here to create a new CV and not what you just showed about managing CV.
Under delegated CVs, you should have Mark's email address. Do you not have that?
Yes, but it just says click here to create a new CV or delegated CV Mark Stone. I don't have manage SciENcv.
No, so manage SciENcv or create SciENcv is fine too. I've seen that as well. But those are only to make your own. When you're going to be making somebody else's, you click on their name.
Got it.
You're going to click on Mark Stone's.
Great, thank you.
No problem. Thanks for the question. Okay, so we're in, so my screen will show that I'm in Pil Kang's delegated SciENcv. We had some troubles with Pil, and Carmen, you may be seeing the same troubles. You may be experiencing the same troubles because he had the exact same phrase on his. Instead of saying manage SciENcv, it said create CV. And so that gave us a hiccup because to get manage SciENcv, it gives you an option of adding your ORCID ID here to this box that my cursor is on right now. We were not able to add his ORCID ID through that mechanism because when I click edit, it doesn't do anything. When he clicked edit, it didn't do anything. So there was a problem there. So the way that we were able to get him to add his ORCID account was that he went in, and now I'm in my account. Now I'm in Stephanie Tufigi's account. And so for this, the PI would need to go up, and this is in the troubleshooting guide, but they would have to go into their account settings, and they would go here to linked accounts. So I just highlighted that, and they would put change. So I have linked my account to the National Science Foundation and to ORCID. If I did not already have ORCID, I would be able to find an ORCID option here, and then I could click on it. And when I did, I would be redirected to ORCID where I would have to log in, and then it would authorize the connection. So that is a hiccup that some people do have. Pil had that, and I'll show you how, Carmen, you can check to see if Mark Stone has an ORCID account linked to his, and also what I had to do for Pil. So going back, so now we are in Pil's landing page. It does not look like anything right now because again, it's missing his mini profile box. And so the only option that I have is to create new document. When I click on that, I have all of these options to be able to make documents. The NIH biosketch and the NIH fellowship biosketch and the IES biosketch have been here the longest. This system was created specifically for NIH. NSF is now using it. Hopefully they'll figure out their hiccups soon. So we're going to start with an NSF biosketch. I want to name that NSF biosketch. Because I'm naming it for the PI, I don't necessarily have to call it their name, but I do probably want to say what date it is. And so for Pill, I'm just going to say NSF biosketch 9/2020. And so he knows that I'm making this biosketch in September of 2020. I'm going to start with a blank document because he doesn't have any existing documents already in the system. From what I understand, he doesn't have an ERA Commons ID. His ORCID account, I could try to use that, but like I've already seen, his ORCID account is not very well developed, so it's not going to help me out that much, and it also may confuse you all who are just starting out. So we're just going to start with a blank document. I'm going to keep it private, but even if I made it public, it doesn't mean that it's available to anyone automatically. You just get a URL that you're then able to put into, a CV or into documents or different things like that, or you can just share it if you're wanting to do, that kind of transfer instead of transferring a PDF. But I'm going to keep it private just because I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to push create. And so now I am in his page, okay? And I know that because down here at name, it says that this is Sung Pil Kang, okay? And this is where you can check to see if they have an ORCID ID. Now, usually when the system is working, the ORCID ID would show up right here. For whatever reason, Pil's is not. And I think it might have to do with that, I don't really know what it has to do with. I would love to say that it's because his ORCID ID is not developed, and if he would develop it, it would work, but that's probably not really the case. I don't know why his is not showing up. But I did find out that if I click this, which when I did that, it was a really, I was being brave because I didn't know what it would do. It did come up because when he went to his account settings, it was clear that his account was linked to ORCID, but for whatever reason, it wasn't showing up in the SciENcv. But when I click on it, then it is, and it's available. But like we'll see, it's not developed, so it's not something that we can really use. But it's still a good habit for PIs to get into to link their ORCID IDs. So I'm going to start out by going to his professional preparation. We're just going to go through the pieces when it gets yeah, we've still got a few minutes to work on this before we get into citations. I'm watching my time. All right, so we're going to professional preparation. This is just like a regular NSF biosketch. Like really fast, I can show you what his biosketch actually looks like. So you can see.
Will the system automatically organize it, Stephanie, in terms of the order of bachelor to PhD?
Yep, it is very handy when it comes to that. Okay, can you guys see his biosketch? Did I share it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. All right, so we can see that he's got his professional preparation. So this is what I'm going to be using to input his information. So I have his professional preparation, I have his academic appointments, I have his products. The ones I have highlighted are ones that I could not get online. So I'm going to have to show you how to input them manually, but that's good. That means it's so that we can have more experiences trying different things. And then synergistic activities, I've already told him that he can only have 5. I was hoping he would get me back his final version before today, but he did not. So we're just going to put in the first 5, and then he can send me the updated version when he's ready. The great thing about this system is that it can constantly be updated without starting something new. All right, so we're going to go back to here. And now we're just going to add information. So when I'm using pills, let's see, we're going to do it like this. Oh, my screen is paused when I do that. Okay, it's going to be paused from time to time because I need to copy and paste stuff. So I am going to copy his university. And please be doing this while I am working on this. And if you have questions, please let me know.
So Stephanie, just to be clear, everybody should just be doing this themselves on the one that they have, uploading information, copying and pasting, whatever, making one.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that is exactly what you should be doing. Like you can see, there are a lot of options for degrees. I mean, there's so many kinds of degrees, and if there is not one here, there is even another option. So definitely find the one that is best for you. I'm seeing a BA here. But if you get to if you get to postdoc training, if they have postdoc training, you will need to put that in training instead of degree.
Oh.
Okay, and when you're done putting one in, you save and add another entry, unless of course you're done. Okay, for this one, I don't think I need to copy and paste quite as much. All right, so Indiana University.
So Carmen, are you entering stuff for Mark?
Oh, you bet. My fingers.
He's trying to get it done in one day.
That's right. I'm going to get it done right now.
So Stephanie, this is Christine. I just had a quick question. Did we need to put in, like, for the dates for the education, do we need to put in like May 2020 or
It
what?
only requires the graduation date. It's the only thing it requires, Christine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so I am done with pills. So I am now going to go on to appointments. So if you're still working on professional preparation, that's fine. But if you want to see how to do appointments, and really fast, we can see how you can edit them. And you can also see how they go in automatically. So like if I added one in, like say for instance, if, who knows, before he got his bachelor's degree, he came over and he did his GRE over here. I don't know, just making stuff up. But you can see that even though I'm GED, sorry. So I'm going to put in a year that is before that. So you can see that even though I am putting it in afterwards, it automatically goes in accurately with the earliest entries first. But I don't want to keep that one, so I go to edit and I delete it. And it just deletes that one. And then we're good.
Stephanie, what is add another level? What does that mean?
Add another, oh, when you're in appointments?
Under organization? Yeah, there's a,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you still doing degree. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, so appointments, this is really handy if, like say for instance, for Gabrielle, when he wanted, like for many of his Duke pieces, I mean, he's at Duke University, but he's in such and such department. Like that would be where you could put the level. So it depends on how many, levels you want to get into. So you might want to say that, okay, I had this position at this university, it was within this school, it was within this department, or it was within this center. So you can really level it out, but you are taking up more space when you're doing that. So for me, like when I've been working with those PIs that do have jam-packed amounts of appointments, I have only been doing up to 2 levels to save space.
Okay.
But
And
if they
you
have
just want to
more,
say director of this institute, can that just be one line, director, comma, name of institute?
I would probably put director and then the organization would be the institute.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so.
But it is a case, Stephanie, once you add all this stuff in and you've put in 5 different levels and you realize that, you know, you can go back and edit it later. And when
Right.
you realize it's taken up too much space.
Yep.
Okay.
And every single one that I have done so far and that the grad students that I worked with this summer have done so far have been over the 2 pages. So they've always had to find somewhere to cut. So, and it's just because of the font size.
I see that country's not necessary, but when you add it, it includes it. If it's all United States, you could probably just delete that, right?
Yeah, you probably don't need it.
Yeah, okay.
So anybody else out there who's working on one, if you come up with questions, don't hesitate to jump in. Carmen's leading the way here with questions.
I'm not concerned about that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought this was going to be harder than what it is. It's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's easy. One thing that you do need to keep in mind when you're adding appointments is that if it was only for 1 year, you know, like say for instance, if your PI, you know, has done something and it was just for that 1 year, you do need to enter in that same year for both from and to, or it will be left blank and that will mean that it is from then until present. So just something to keep in mind.
I wish it kind of remembered previous entries. So when you start to type in something, it would just fill it in for you.
You're asking too much.
But the advantage is, as Stephanie said, is once this thing is built, it's built and you can make additions and edits and stuff, but you don't have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Something like for this one, for Pill, the organization he has, it's called GP Strategies. That's probably not going to be, you know, very well known by other people. And so I am going to put in the city and state for that one.
I'd also mentioned while you're doing this that NSF did come out with new instructions about appointments, and so you need to look at the PAPPG and make sure your PI is in fact including all appointments, including those that are honorary and may not come with a salary. So
Editorial associate.
Yeah, so there is additional guidance in the PAPPG about appointments, and there's an FAQ about it as well. So you may well need to check that. And this comes from them increased concerns about affiliations that may have an impact on the faculty's commitments. It's security issues. So it's up to them to disclose everything, but just make sure you look at the PAPPG for how they're describing what needs to be included.
Okay. All right, so I have finished adding all of Pills, and so now would be a great time to get into citations. Actually really fast, just because I think I might have gone over time for that. I'm going to quickly put in some synergistic activities just so that you can see them, and then we'll focus on products. And then the last 5 minutes, we're going to look at current and pendings. So I told you, it goes by a lot faster than you hope that it would, but it lets us get some things done. So if you didn't catch that, I'm flipping down to section D. I'm skipping section C right now. We'll come back to that in just a second. Section D is pretty simple. it is also just a copy and paste as long as they are doing what they should be doing. In terms of synergistic activities, which is to state a single distinct example. And so Pill has put in here that he is a co-PI and social scientist on the red facet. And so we'll just leave that for a little bit. I might think about it for a little bit afterwards because he also has that in his products. So might be double dipping there. You do not have to put any numeration or any type of tabs to keep track of this. It automatically adds them. You also do not include multiple activities in a single block. You just save them individually and they show up individually, and then you add another one. When you are doing this, you can add certain functions like bold and italicized, I believe. And you can also make headers. You can do this by using the markdown syntax. So say for instance, if I wanted to capitalize that he was the undergrad program coordinator, and then this is the job that he did with it, I would put 2 asterisks before that, and I would put 2 asterisks after that. And that would make it so that undergraduate program coordinator turned up as being bold. So that is something that you can do to be able to help with those kinds of complications. Like for this one, I also see that he has included a title. And so he wants the title to be italicized. And so for that, you use 1 asterisk. So 1 asterisk before, let's see, what was it going to? Course, okay. And then 1 asterisk afterwards. And then you save it, and it makes it so it's italicized. You just kind of keep going. Again, this part is very simple. The complications come up when you want to condense things, like if you're over the page limit. But I just wanted to show you really fast what happens when you get to your 5. So you add another entry. So we are there. Man, I really want to add in another one, but it doesn't give me the option. So SciENcv is very good for PIs that forget the rules sometimes. It has those extra layers of competency to help you out with that. And then over here, you can see when I am highlighting, when I'm just hovering, actually it highlights automatically, but I'm hovering over a synergistic activity, I have the option of moving it up. Like say for instance, if I want to get reviewers' attention quicker, I can move things up. Or if I've decided that, oh, I really need to edit that, it'll take me back here. Okay. Or I can delete things too. And so it gives you all of those options to be able to get those things done. Okay, so now we're going to go on to citations. All right, and this is the part that takes a little bit more time. So say for instance, if we are over here in ORCID, really fast, I'm going to go out of Pill's SciENcv. The nice thing about this is that whatever is entered in, it's automatically saved. Like you don't have to go to the bottom and find a save option or anything like that. So I am going to get out of Pill's because I want to show you something else. Yes, I want to get out of his. I am going to go to my husband's account, and I'm going to go to just one of his.
Oh, but we don't need to get out, right?
No, please don't. No, I'm just showing you the difference between somebody who has an ORCID ID linked and somebody who doesn't, and somebody who has my bibliography set up and somebody who doesn't. So it'll help out with that. Okay, so when I look to his products, I can see that one, he has a lot of entries in his My Bibliography. When I go to ORCID, he has a lot of entries in that ORCID account as well. This is really handy when you're pulling publications into a biosketch. It makes it so it's very simple. All you do is you pick them and then you save citations and then you're great. However, when you're working with somebody like Pill, or like somebody who does not have their ORCID ID updated, or does not have an ORCID ID or something like that, you're going to have to do other operations to be able to help them to put in their products. The easiest thing to do is, the easiest thing in terms of working within the My NCVI is to use My Bibliography. So we can go to My Bibliography. And right now we are in Pil Kang's bibliography. So whatever we find will go into his bibliography. So this is here. He does not currently have any citations.
I'm sorry, I don't have that option. And products right now, it just says you have not included any products in the section, and then all you can do is select citations.
Right, so do that. So select citations, so do that with me.
Okay, good.
You're going to be open to this page.
Yes.
And then like add citations, you can search directly from PubMed here, or you can go to My Bibliography.
Okay.
And then you should be in Mark Stone's bibliography. And so right now there are no citations here. I want to add citations. The first thing that you can do is to search PubMed again. I don't know if, let's see.
But you can't cut them from a Word file and paste them?
So I'll show you what to do with that, but it is more time consuming, and especially if you have more authors, but it is doable. What you have to do for that is to go to manually.
Okay.
So manually is the other option. So these are the fields that you have to fill in for that. So it is like cutting and pasting. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to go ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything in My Bibliography.
Yeah, a lot of people will not. The third option is from a file, and this will automatically look for what is called a RIS file. It will only upload RIS files. The only RIS file that I have currently right here will actually not work because it's actually a bib text file and it's from Mala Atun. But I want to show you how you can use online free tools like EndNote to be able to build an electronic library for your PIs. It's really simple to use when you are, let's see, first you need to get into your EndNote account. Go through UNM. The way that I got here was I just went UNM EndNote. And then I got to this page. Come down here to Web of Science. That's where I would always go first, because this lets you log in and then you can use the university's Web of Science. Web of Science is a database that is more comprehensive than PubMed. PubMed is primarily for health and biomedical publications and research. PubMed, Web of Science includes many more. Let's see, for some reason this is taking a long time. There you go, thank you. So from here, you can go to your EndNote as long as you have it already set up with the university. So if you don't, get an account. You can get an account by going back here and creating a free account. They will link to the Web of Science, to the UNM Web of Science, and then you'll be able to use that to search for all kinds of publications that are available. So I found 5 for Pill. There were a few of them that were not there just because they were conference proceedings, or he's identifying the NSF program that he's also on as being a product. So, there are complications with using this, and you still have to add some things manually, but 5 out of 10, it saves me half the time. The way that you're able to get the RIS file off of EndNote is to go to Format and then select Export References. I put them into groups so that I can get them quicker. Like if I did all of my references in my library, I would be pulling all of my references from EndNote into every PI's my bibliography that I work with, and I don't want to do that. That would be too complicated. So I have groups that I put everybody that I work with in. These have been for all of the trainings that I've been doing, but that's how that works. So you want it to be a RIS file. That's the only file that can be uploaded into my bibliography. BibTeX can go into ORCID. EndNote can be used sometimes, but it cannot go into my bibliography, only RIS. You're going to save it. You're not going to email it. You're not going to preview and print it. You're going to save it. Saving that will, where do I save it? Put it into your downloads, and then you can come back. This thing keeps getting in the way. Sorry, there we go. My Zoom menu was getting in the way. And then you go back, oh, there we go, to my bibliography, to NCBI. And now you're going to add from a file. I saved it into downloads. You don't necessarily have to do that. You can do it in a different way. I'm going to select it and I'm going to open it. And you can see that I created 5 new references in PIL's my bibliography. They do not all transfer over correctly. There are complications with the transfer sometimes. So it's always best to check them to make sure that they transferred over correctly. Like for whatever reason, it has a trouble with identifying middle initials. It doesn't transfer that over very well. I have already looked at this publication and I know that it does not have a volume or issue yet because it's still in its online version. You can keep the unique ID, the DOI, or the PMID, which is the PubMed ID. I don't like to do that though because it takes up too much space. For PIL, because he's an assistant professor, he probably doesn't have as lengthy of a biosketch as some other more senior faculty. So I think I'll keep it for a little while, but I may take it out if it's taking up too much space. But say for instance, for this one, again, it wasn't showing up for the middle initial. These are showing up, which is good because it wasn't showing up when I had it on there. But now that I've looked at it and I've saved it, now those are coming up. So I don't know if anybody noticed that, but I did. So just checking them to make sure that they transferred correctly is it's a good thing to do. It always will save you a lot of trouble when you are adding them then to their biosketch. Because once you add them to your biosketch, if there's a complication, you'll have to come back and correct it in my bibliography regardless, and this will save time. So for this, the year didn't transfer. So I'm gonna have to look, let's see, the link between transformational leadership. The link between okay, here it is. So it was a 2020. And so I'm going to put in the year and save it.
We have 5 minutes left, Stephanie.
Awesome. Okay, so let me check this one really fast. And then we're going to go into the current and pending.
And I'm sorry to interrupt. You also have a question in the chat. I can read it for you if you'd like.
Yeah.
It's from Isela. What if the BIOS that the PI shared with us to use is not following the 5 synergistic activities?
Get back to them and say like, hey, it can only be 5 synergistic activities. Like that was the same thing that I had with PIL. And I just wrote to him and I said, you know, just letting you know, we can only use 5. So please send me back a revised biosketch, just including those 5.
They always follow directions, right?
Well, for this, there's no workaround. Like it's not a, you know, it's not a Word document that they can just, you know, pack things into.
So they can't add additional synergistic activities and then deselect as needed?
They cannot, but what they can do is they can create new documents.
Mhm.
Okay, so if I go NSF biosketch, you can use the existing document that we just created that will pull in all of the information that was in that original one, like the professional preparation, the appointments, any kind of products that were already on there. It will also pull, whoa, that's fun. Well, that is an error. Oh, there we go. Did you guys see that? That was scary.
Yes.
Okay, so, oh, and you know what? Oh, because I chose the wrong one. That's why. Huh. Note to self, don't choose NIH when you are wanting an NSF. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that. So make sure that you choose an NSF when you're doing this, and then it will work a lot better. Okay, so when you do it, the synergistic activities will be there. You can change these synergistic activities. So yeah, sorry to say it doesn't give you an option of hiding or selecting. That would be a really great option to be able to have, but the way that this is formatted right now, it doesn't allow that. But I do want to show you guys the current and pending, so let's go to that. Hill has not sent me his updated current and pending yet, so I'm going to get out of his and I'm going to go to somebody else's. So going to another one, and yeah, so this is back at Davude's, and I'm going to do NSF current and pending 9/2020. So make sure that you choose the correct format. If you do this as a NIH biosketch, you're going to get the NIH format, and that's not what you want. So choose the NSF current and pending. You don't have any other options besides start with a blank document or use an existing document. So I've already made one for Davude, so his is already there, but I'm going to start from scratch so you can see that. So we're going to create. And again, we can see that I'm in his account. It's not my account, it's his account. And down here is where you're going to add the projects or proposals. So that's where you add the current and pending, or you add the in-kind contribution. There are a lot of new guidelines related to that in-kind contribution. So make sure that your PIs are fully aware that they are asking for more than just the NSF programs that this person is part of. They're also looking at other kinds of contributions that have been given to this PI that are not necessarily related to the project, because they do say on here that if it is something that is related to the project, that should be in the facilities, equipment, and other resources. But just really quick, I'm going to show you what it looks like. And so for here, if I'm doing a current, let's see. So Davude's most current is here. So you can, again, copy and paste there. There's no other way of doing it. If you have this available, I don't have that available right now, so I won't worry about that. But you put in all of the regular information that you typically do for a current and pending. You don't have to put the months, but you should have, let's see, actually the start date was 2020. And then 2025.
I think we're going to get cut off here pretty soon.
Probably. All right. Are there any questions?
Stephanie, when you're going to PubMed to search for activities or products that they have, is it best to search by PI name, or is it best to search by title of the article?
It depends. So if you want to pull a list, like for Gabrielle, he had a list of them that were on PubMed, and so I did search for his name, And then I was able to pull his entire list from PubMed into my bibliography. But if you're working with somebody who maybe has a more generic name, or maybe does not have as many publications in there and is a little bit harder to find, then you can do it just by title.
Okay, thank you. This was helpful. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
This is Mary Jo. I know we're going to get cut off. Just want to say NSF just said when they do annual reports, they have to indicate whether there is any change to their current and pending for any of the PIs or co-PIs. And if there are any changes, they have to do a new current and pending document in the new format. So that just came out this week.
Sounds good. Whoop. Can't have comments. There you go.
Whoops.
Really? You want me to add a start month? Fine.
And for anyone who wants to access this presentation, we're going to have it posted on our website. So if there's something that we covered today that you need to refresh on or go back to check to see how you did it today, we'll have that up on our website hopefully within the next few days. I think Emily will send an announcement out about that. And yeah. I thank you so much for this, Stephanie. I'm not a research administrator, but like I actually found this really interesting. I'm in grad school, so I spend a lot of time on PubMed, and it's interesting to see it from the sort of at the NCBI from like this perspective. So I really enjoyed this as well.
Well, thank you so much. And like I said, if anybody wants any one-on-one help or any more guidance, please let me know. And once the website has been launched, I'll ask Stephanie to send it out on RAM.
Thank you so much.